Hi, this is the third part of a tutorial on creating a custom CRM, Customer Relationship Management application using a low-code, no-code platform, Databeak. In the first part, we created an enterprise-ready custom CRM application without writing any PHP, JavaScript, or SQL code. It was no code. It was a classic CRM application that you can use to register leads and prospects. You can convert them into customers. You can register the communications you have with them and the sales. We created a dashboard that you can see here, by the way, and we had 3 user groups: admin, salespeople, and sales managers, setting different permissions for each of them. In the second part, we started the low-code development. I showed you how to add your own custom code, in particular using calculated fields, custom validation functions, and conditional fields. In this third part, I will continue the low-code development, and I will show you views, row-level custom filters, operational hooks, and custom formatting functions. Before continuing, remember, if you're interested in the no-code, low-code world, to click on subscribe and then hit the notification bell if you want to be notified about new videos and lives. Every other Thursday, we publish a new video, and the first Monday of each month, we have a live. So, first topic, views. What is a view? You can think about it as a virtual table created on the top of a real table. Here I'm simplifying the concept, but for the purpose of this tutorial is fine. When do we need views? An example. Here we have a table customers containing not only the customers, probably you remember that. We have prospects, leads, and actual customers. Okay? And we recognize them from the status here. Now, we want to keep all in the same table, but we create 3 views: leads, prospects, and customers, so we can treat them as 3 different objects in Databeak. If I want to see all the leads, for example, instead of searching from here, so status lead, okay, we have 2 customers having status lead. Instead of searching, I would have a link here, somewhere here in my menu, leads, showing the view leads. Okay, so to create a view, we need some SQL, but in this case, it's very, very simple. So simple that I could have included this part in the no-code video of this tutorial, part 1. And in fact, for other tutorials, I included simple views creation in the no-code part. But anyway, let's create this view. So edit this app, data. Okay, here we have tables and views. We have to create the 3 views. The first one will be leads. So we create a new view with name leads, and we write the SQL code here. Let me write it and then I'll discuss it. Okay, this is the SQL code. It's very simple. Even if you don't know SQL, probably you will understand easily the meaning. So what I'm doing here is I want to select asterisk, means all the columns of the table customers, ID, first name, last name, and so on, but only for customers having a status equal to lead. So I create a view leads defined by and the content of the table of the view is defined by this statement. Only the leads will be there. Here I have to specify a unique field for the view, and that's ID, because ID was the primary key of the table customers, that is the table the view's leads is based on. Okay, so create view. View is created, and let's do the same for the other two views. So we said prospects, and customers. Okay, we got an error here because we already have a table customers, so we cannot create a view with exactly the same name, customers. So I can call it converted leads. Okay. All right. Okay, we have to grant permissions to these views, and we can just copy the permissions from the table customers to the views. All right, so permissions, copy from the table customers to the view leads. From the table customers to the views prospects, and converted leads. Same thing for form configurator. I mean, we should configure these forms, but since the fields they have, the table, well, the views have, are exactly the same field the customers table has, we can just copy the form settings from customers to prospects, from customers to leads, from customers to converted leads. All right, so now we should be able to see already the three views in our application. Prospects, converted leads, and leads. So if I click here, I get the leads, the two leads. Here, the prospects. We don't have any prospect. And here, the converted leads. So for 2, we should have 6 customers, exactly. Remember that views are always up to date. I mean, if I change, for example, the status here of a lead, and I set it to customer, then when I click on converted leads, I will see 5 customers instead of 4. Because every time I access a view, basically MySQL executes the query, the select statement we use to define the view. It's like selecting all the customers having status equal to customer every time we access converted leads here. Okay? So now maybe we want to change a little bit the menu. I would create a section customers with 4 children. All customers, converted leads, prospects, and leads. So let's go back here, pages. So let's see how our menu is right now. So we have customers at the beginning. Okay, and then companies, sales, and communications. So the table customers will become, as page name, all customers. having a parent customers, that is our, section. Let's see here, customer, all customers. So now we want to move leads, prospect, and converted leads under the same category. Okay, so the position will be 2, 3, and 4. These are views 2, 3, and 4, and the parent will be customers. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, this will become 5, 6, and 7. Let's see. Okay, there is still something wrong here. Maybe we move dashboard at the end. So 7, dashboard was a custom page, and that's 8. All right, so we have customers, all customers, converted leads, and prospects. Okay. The very last thing I want to do is these views. I want to keep these views read-only. I don't want to enable insert, delete, and edit from here. If you want to insert, edit, and delete, you'll go here. Okay, so to do that, permissions, and so leads, admin, we keep, well, we remove delete, edit, and create. Save. Well, the same thing for the other groups. Okay. All right, and then maybe we copy the permissions. So from leads to prospects, and from leads to converted leads. So the 3 views have now the same permission that the table customers has, but without create, delete, and edit. So all customers, we have all the CRUD operations, converted leads, and prospects are read-only. Okay, all right, that's it for views. Okay, next topic is row-level custom filters. We want to filter by default rows, for example, for certain users. This can be useful in many situations. Maybe you want to build a multi-tenant application where each manager can see only the customers and the related sales belonging to their geographic area, for example. But that's just a criteria. You can use any other rule. In a multi-schools application, each principal can, for example, only view data for students belonging to their school. That's another example. So basically, in all these situations where you need to filter the rows, and you cannot use the my permissions we saw before. So the my permissions is not enough. You need row-level custom filters. Just to remind you, what is the my permission? Well, basically, you can filter the rows and the operation a user can execute on a specific table according to the ownership of records. So you can say users belonging to that group can only see the records they created. So, for example, user Bob can only see the records, for example, the customers he created. Okay, we used this approach in the first part of this tutorial. It's a no-code approach because from the permissions page, you can set the my permission for read, delete, update, and CSV. Okay, but again, sometimes this is not enough. You need more sophisticated rules, and that's why we might need row-level custom filters. For our application, I propose this improvement as an example. I want to add an additional user group. We have sales manager already, admin groups, sales managers, right? I will add sales top managers. The idea is top managers can see the whole archive of the sales, while standard managers only the sales of the current year. Okay, that's just an example to show you row-level custom filters. First, I will add the new group. So create new, and this is sales top managers. Possible duplication because the name is similar to sales manager, but that's fine. Insert anyway. So we have this new group having ID 5. Okay, let's add a user to this group. So create new, we call it new. Email group top managers, password, okay, and no. All right. So now the code we need for defining the row-level custom filter. This is all the code we need. And we need to add it to the custom filter functions.php file. In this file, you will add all your row-level custom filters. So here we are saying that for the table sales, $custom filter filters sales, we want to define a custom filter. And the rule will be set, the filtering rule will be set according to this function, Databig custom filter sales. As usual, you can name the function as you want, but by default it needs to start with Databig underscore. And then you define the function. A row-level custom filter function needs to return an additional filter. Technically is an additional component to your where clause that Databig will add on the top of any other filters you already have on the table. Because maybe the user is already searching, filtering manually the records of the sales table, but on the top of that, what we want is, unless the user is belonging to the group 5 top managers, you have to show only the sales related to the current year. So, global current ID group. This just means that we want to use this global variable that Databig provides, current ID group. This contains the ID group of the currently logged in user. Remember, probably I already told you in a previous part of this tutorial, but remember that when you use these global variables, you should only use them in, let's say, read mode. Don't change the value of those variables. So here, okay, this is a mistake, it's 5. If the current ID group is different than 5, then return this filter. Year daytime, and daytime was a field in the table sales, equal to year car date. This is just a built-in MySQL function that returns the current date. With here again another MySQL function, we extract only the year from a date. So the year of the sale must be equal to the current year. If this is true, so the current ID user is different than 5, the function execution ends here, because after a return, the execution of the function will stop. We just return to the caller our filter. Otherwise, the execution of the function will continue, and we will return 1 equal 1, which means basically nothing. We don't add any filter, because 1 equal 1 is always true. Okay, let's try it. So sales. Oh, okay, let me log in with a sales manager, Jimmy. Sales, I see 112 sales. Let's sort by daytime, and we will see that they are all in 2022. Okay, let's log in as Ennio now. Okay, I got an error because I forgot to copy the permissions for this new group. Let me do it. So as a root, because I created a group, but this new group basically has no permissions. So let's copy the permissions from sales managers to sales top managers. Okay, log out. Still error. Okay, I think I know why. Sorry. Basically, I was in a hurry and I didn't copy probably the permissions correctly. Copy. Okay, right. Yeah, exactly. So what I did probably was from sales managers to sales top managers, but then I left a specific table set, so Database copied the permissions just for this table, communications. I want to copy for everything, so I need to leave this empty. Okay, now it will work. Log out, Ennio and Ennio. Correct, sales. All right, I see all the sales because Ennio belongs to the sales top managers group. And that's it for row level custom filters. Well, let me add something else. This is custom code, standard PHP. So you can write a very simple filter like this one, or a very complex algorithm to filter your rows, okay? And it doesn't need to be based on the user logged as we did here, okay? It's just custom code, so you you can implement any rule, basically. Anything that can be expressed in PHP, you can do it. Next topic is hooks. In Databeak, we have operational hooks and layout hooks. Here we will talk about operational hooks. Basically, you can execute some custom code, again, custom code, when a particular event occurs. And you have several hooks in Databeak for each table. For example, you can say, after the insertion of a record in the customers table, do this, execute this code. Or before the deletion of a sale, execute this other code, this other function, something like that. Okay. How are we going to use hooks here? The idea is, let's say that for each customer, so we have email, phone, status, creator, and so on. I want to see an additional column, the total sales here. Okay, so of course for each customer you can have many sales. I want to have the information about the total sales here. I don't mean the count, the number of sales, but the total amount generated by all the sales related to that customer. Okay. There are two ways I can do this. The first one is by using a view. If you're familiar with database design, this first method would keep the database normalized. If you're not familiar and you don't know what normalized means, don't worry. The other way, which is the one I'm going to use, is by adding an actual column to the database, to the customers table, and to keep its value updated every time a sale is inserted, modified, or deleted. From the point of view of the database design, this is not considered, let's say, a normalized design, but this allows me to show how, very well, I would say, how operational hooks work. So we will use this approach. Again, what we want to do is every time a new sale is created, so registered in our system, modified, because maybe you are, let's check the sales. Each sale has an amount, so if you modify a sale, you could modify the amount, and so the total here would change. And also every time a sale is deleted, again, we want to update this additional column that we are going to add. So first thing, we need to add this column to the table customers. So I need to log out and log in as root, edit, data, customers table, and I call it amount sales. And it's a decimal number. Okay. Nullable, I would say yes, because at least for the moment, maybe we can change it later, but at the moment this field is null. Okay, we still have to compute it. So save changes. How about permissions? Customer. Let's start with sales managers. Well, I would say that for all the groups, including admin, for this field amount sales, result is yes, edit no. We don't want to allow modification, creation no. It's not something that the final user needs to interact with, because it will be calculated by the system. So result yes, details, yes. Quick search and advanced search, yeah, maybe yes. Advanced and not quick. Well, I can also add it here and here. The important thing is that we set no and no on edit and create. And we should do the same for the other group. No, no. Okay. Maybe it would be better, that's up to you, but maybe it would be better instead of edit no, yes, but disabled. So when you are in the edit form, you can still see the value, but you cannot change it. Okay? That's a different approach. All right. Customers, all customers. Okay, we have now the amount sales, but it's empty as we expected. Okay, and this is the code I need to implement my hook. We said that the update of the amount sales field needs to be executed after insert, after update, and before delete. First we focus on after insert and after update hooks, because the before delete will be slightly different. So as you can see, this is the syntax I use to define a hook, an operational hooks. So it's $hooks, it's an associative array. So the key here is the name of the table, so sales. Here we are saying that for the sales table, we define an after insert hook. So when we insert a record in sales, after the execution of this operation, we need to execute the code. We need to execute this function, Databeek update customers sales. Okay? And this is our function. When you execute an after insert and after update hook, the function you define has as a parameter, so it receives in input the ID of the record that the user has just inserted or updated. We'll comment the code now. So with this operation, we got the details related to a specific sale. Which one? The one we just inserted or updated. Get record details is a method of the Databeek's custom code API. We get record details without executing SQL. You can do it also in SQL if you want, because actually behind the scenes Databeek will execute some SQL, but this is a very compact operation that in one line allows you to get all the values for all the fields of a record according to its ID. So here we have the table, here the primary key or any unique field you might have in the table, and here the value of the field. Okay, so for example, if we have just inserted a sale and MySQL has assigned to that sale the ID 10, with this operation we will get all the information about the sale having ID 10. Why we need that? Because we need the ID customer related to the sale, right? Why? Because with the ID customer, we can then update for that customer the amount sales field according to all the sales linked with that customer. So let's analyze the update query now. So here we are updating the amount sales field of the customers table. If you know SQL, probably this is easy for you. If you don't, I try to explain it in the easiest way. So we are executing an SQL query to update in the customers table the amount of the sales, the amount sales field, setting it to something. For the moment, let's forget this. We will replace this with a value, but forget it. But which customer? The customer related to the sale we have just inserted or updated. So here we write where ID equal to column ID customer. This is a prepared statement. We use prepared statement here. That's the most secure way to execute SQL in a PHP script. Basically, this is a placeholder. We are going in the following lines to replace column ID customer with an ID customer value, the one we got from here. So for the following lines will prepare the execution of the prepared statement, and I'm using this function. These are database related functions. Again, you can use a standard PHP PDO here. This is just a slightly more compact way to execute these operations, but behind the scenes, Databeak will execute standard PHP PDO functions. So here we prepare the execution of the query. Here we bind. What does it mean? Basically, we are replacing the placeholder with an actual value. So here we are saying replace column ID customer with an actual number. The ID customer of the sale we have just inserted or updated. Because the sale info, and this is what we get from get record details, sale info, an associative array containing the values for all the field of that sale. So sale info ID customer will contain the ID customer of the sale. So basically here we are saying for the customer having that ID, let's say that is ID 10, update amount sales using this value. And now we are analyzing this part. So here we are summing together all the amount values you have in the sales table related to that customer again, where ID customer equal to column ID customer. So with this bind function, we replace both this ID customer and this ID customer that we have in this subquery. And finally here we execute the prepared statement. We do it both after insert and after update. Let's see if it works. So basically we can just take, Alice Brown, first customer, sales. We can edit here a sale where Alice Brown is involved. I don't even have to, change something here. The fact that I click on save here triggers the execution of that code. So save. Okay, customers. All right. Now, Alice Brown has in amount sales the sum of all the amount for all the sales she is involved in. Okay, and the same for insert. Let's say, what was this second? Bob Black, sales. I create customer, a new sale, customer Bob Black, 55, description, test. Save. Okay, we have our new sale here, and Bob Black is updated. So basically, if you want to fill the values for all the other customers, well, you can do it very easily in SQL if you want, but you can also just enter for each customer one of the sales they are involved in, click on save, and this will be computed. Remember, we compute every time, we sum together every time all the sales. We don't just consider the sale we have just inserted or updated, we recompute everything. That from the point of view of the efficiency probably is not very it's not a very good approach, but it's the easiest way for me to implement this feature for you in this tutorial. All right, how about delete? So I think it's pretty obvious that we have to update this value even when you delete a sale, right? However, we delete instead of an after delete hook, we need a before delete hook. Why? Because after the deletion, the record is gone. So we cannot take the information we need, which is the ID of the customer. Okay, so after insert and after update, we still have that sale, so we can take the ID customer and use it here. After delete, the sale record is gone, and we don't know anymore to which ID customer was linked to. So we have to use a before delete hook, but this adds some complexity, and that's why I created a different hook. I call it Datapeak Update Customer Sales 2, because the code is slightly different. I'm duplicating some code here, which is not good, but I had to. So basically, these two functions contain exactly the same code, except from this part. So here, I'm saying, okay, again, sum together all the amount values for all the sales related to that customer, except from the current sale. I mean, the sale I'm going to delete. Exclude that. So, and ID different than column ID sale. So here, and that's the other change respect to this function, I need to replace this second placeholder with $ID sale. $ID sale is the ID of the sale I'm going to delete. All right, let's see if it works. And maybe I can open sales in a new tab, so I can delete the sale I've just created, the one related to Bob Black. Delete. And so here, Bob Black, if I reload this page, the amount sales should change. All right. Okay, it works. And that's it also for operational hooks. Next topic is custom formatting functions. When you want to display your data in a particular way, you can use custom formatting functions. It could be something very simple, like changing the default color. For example, something like always display the amount sales field in red, or something very complicated. Again, it's a even in this case, it's a custom PHP function. So again, you can add your own code that overrides the default formatting Databeak would have used for that content. The example I propose here is the following. We take the value we created before, amount sales, and we display it using a different color according to its value. Let's see the code. So this is my function, Databeak format customer sales. Custom formatting functions receive in input, have two parameters, value, $value, and $ID. $value, the first parameter is the actual value, so it will be this one, while $ID contains the ID of the record. So the value of the primary key of the record or the unique field. So here, this was the input, and we have to return, so the output of the function is the string we want to use to represent that value. So here I have a bunch of if statements saying that if the value of the sales is less than 1 million, then we want to display the value in red. If it's less than 8,500,000 in brown, or in all the other cases in green. What I'm doing here, I'm just returning the value I get in input plus a span HTML tag with a style attribute. That's it. So I surround, if you know some HTML, this is pretty obvious. I surround the value with a span tag. So this is the code, but well, this is just a function, but of course we need to tell Databeak to use this function. So in form configurator, customers, amount sales, custom formatting function, now it's empty, Databeak format customer sales, and save. Here we go. So this is in red and this is in green, as expected. What else I can say about custom formatting function? Oh yeah, so custom formatting functions affect how values are displayed in the results grid, in the details page, and also in PDF documents. As you can see from here, customers, amount sales, we also have another parameter, custom CSV formatting function. As the name suggests, it's exactly the same thing, but it affects how the values are formatted when you export to CSV. And that's it for custom formatting function as well. And I would say that's it for today, for this part of the tutorial. The next part will be the last one, and we will talk about custom buttons. So we will learn how to add some custom buttons to our applications, buttons that can trigger the execution of some code. We will see JavaScript event functions. And finally, we will also talk about custom PHP pages. So in Databeak application, if all we have available is not enough, we can still create a completely custom PHP page, you know, so adding our code. And we will use this feature to add a funnel page to our CRM application. But for today we are done, so see you next time. Ciao!